Alright, so our first build along we're going to do is a new variant off something that we've done a bunch of times in the past. If you can see on the sheets of paper here, these are our prototypes, things that we've first designed on the computer. Got all the radius lines set in, all these little nooks and crannies. Parts of the handle have a corresponding wheel to make sure that we get really nice, crisp, clean lines when we're grinding things. We had to go through, visually approve everything, make sure it looks cool, it's going to function right. The next step is going to be printing out a prototype. So once we have the design printed out and pick one that we like, the next step is going to be printing it onto a piece of wood of some sorts. These are the two that we picked, and as you can see on the first one, it's got pretty tight handle. It looks correct, but once you start to hold it, there's no room for your pinky, and that's a dud. 5 minutes later, a little bit of stretching in Illustrator, and we've got something that fits really nice. It's going to work well. I like to use something a little thicker like plywood, because it's cheap and I got it sitting around. Pick a piece out of the trash, cut it up, but also that's about as thick as that handle might be, so it's a good representation of what that's going to feel like at the end of the day. Once the wood prototype is settled away, we're good. I know what that's going to feel like. That template gets printed and glued onto a bar of steel. I was going to do a bunch of boot knives on this one, but we're going to do old rusties this time. This is a carbon steel bar. It's 1095, which is one of the most simple and pure carbon steels. It's going to allow us to get a really nice Hayman out of that. We'll put some clay on these in a little bit after I get them cut and pre-ground a little bit. So as of right now, we got a template on a bar of steel. How did I get this on here? Very simple. There's this stuff called glue. It's sticky. You can put two things together. Usually one goes on top of the other, and once it's dry, it's on there. So a little bit of water, a little bit of sandpaper, and that'll come right off, but it's on there really well, and I shouldn't have any big peeling problems during the cutting process. So we've got one blank cut out, pretty rough right off the bandsaw. Try your best to stay on the line. If you go into it, there's no putting material back on, so having a little bit of leftover here is no big deal. We'll hit that up on the grinder next.